Something good happened to you. Maybe recently, maybe a while ago. Maybe it was a promotion, a new opportunity, a relationship that finally felt right, a business that started to gain traction, a version of your life that was finally beginning to look like the one you had been building toward. And you noticed something. In the moment you shared it, or in the silence after you shared it, something in the people around you shifted. Not everyone. Some people responded exactly the way you hoped, with genuine warmth, real celebration, the kind of response that makes you feel like the win belongs to both of you somehow. But others went quiet. Not immediately, not obviously, just a subtle withdrawal, a slightly slower response, an energy that was not quite what it used to be, a presence that became slightly less present, and you noticed it. And then you felt guilty for noticing it, because you told yourself you were imagining things, that you were being paranoid, that people who cared about you would not respond to your success with something that felt like distance. This video is about what you were actually seeing, and why it was not your imagination, and why the information contained in that quiet is the most important information you will ever receive about the people in your life. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you will permanently change the way you read the people around you. I need to start with something that most videos about fake people and jealousy get completely wrong. They make it about the other person, about their character flaw, about their inadequacy, about the toxicity of people who cannot celebrate the success of those they are supposed to care about. And while all of that is true, it misses the more important point, which is what the information is for. Because the quiet that arrives when certain people witness your success is not primarily a revelation about them. It is primarily a gift to you. A piece of information about the nature of the relationship that you could not have accessed any other way. Because some people are very good at the friendship performance, at showing up when things are difficult, at being present and warm and available in the ordinary moments, at making you feel genuinely cared for in the seasons when your life is not threatening anything in theirs. But the moment your life begins to move forward, the moment something good happens that changes the distance between where you are and where they are, the truth about the relationship becomes visible, not in what they say, in what they don't, in the silence, in the absence of warmth exactly when warmth would cost them something. That is the information, and it is only available in the moment of your success, which means every win you experience is simultaneously a truth-telling machine about everyone around you. Pay attention to what it reveals. The Stoics had a specific understanding of this phenomenon that most people never consider. They understood that genuine love and genuine friendship require a specific quality in the person offering it. They called it magnanimity, greatness of soul, the capacity to feel genuinely glad for another person's flourishing without experiencing that flourishing as a threat to your own. And they were completely clear that this quality is rare, not because most people are bad, but because most people have not done the internal work required to celebrate someone else's success, when that success highlights the distance between where they are and where they want to be. Most people experience the success of those close to them through the lens of their own aspirations, their own unmet goals, their own sense of what they should have achieved by now. And when someone they know achieves something they have been reaching for, the celebration has to travel through all of that first. And sometimes it does not make it. Not because they are evil, because they are human. And human beings in the presence of another person's success are almost always doing a comparison calculation they are not fully conscious of. The quiet is not malice. It is the sound of that calculation happening, and the result of that calculation telling the person something uncomfortable about themselves, something they have not resolved yet. something that your success just made impossible to ignore. Here is the specific thing that the quiet reveals about a relationship that the ordinary moments never can. Whether the relationship was built on genuine care for you, or on a comfortable equilibrium between where you were and where they were. Some relationships are genuinely built on love, on the specific appreciation for who you are as a person, independent of what you have or what you achieve or what position you occupy relative to them. These relationships can celebrate your success, because the success does not change the thing they valued. They valued you. And more of your flourishing means more of you, which is always good. But other relationships are built on something more fragile, on a dynamic that required a certain balance to function, on an unconscious sense of parity that made both people comfortable. You were roughly here, they were roughly there, and the gap was small enough to feel safe. But when your success moves you significantly forward, the gap changes, and the dynamic that was built on the old gap cannot survive the new one without both people consciously choosing to let it evolve. And many people cannot make that choice, not because they are choosing against you deliberately, but because the discomfort of the new gap is too real. And the quiet is the first sign that the relationship is struggling with the distance. Epictetus taught something about the people in our lives that permanently changes how you relate to what they do and do not do. He said that we should never expect from another person what they are not capable of giving. Not because people are fundamentally selfish, but because their capacity to give is always limited by the work they have done on themselves. The person who cannot celebrate your success is not withholding something they have. They are revealing the limit of what they currently possess. They do not have the magnanimity yet, the internal spaciousness that allows genuine celebration of another person's flourishing. That quality has to be built through internal work, through the confronting of your own unmet desires, through the honest acknowledgement of your own envy, and the deliberate decision to transform it into something productive. Not everyone has done that work, and you cannot be angry at a person for not having something they have never built. What you can do is see clearly what they are capable of offering, and calibrate your relationship accordingly. Not with bitterness, not with punishment, with the specific clarity of a person who now has accurate information about the nature of the relationship, and chooses to respond to the truth rather than the story they had been telling about it. Here is what you actually do with the information the quiet gives you. And I want to be very specific about this, because most people either ignore it, or they go too far in the other direction and start treating the relationship as an enemy. Neither of those is the Stoic response. The Stoic response is calibration. You recalibrate the role the relationship plays in your life, based on what it has demonstrated it is capable of. You do not share your wins with people who cannot receive them, not because you are punishing them, because sharing your wins with people who cannot receive them is choosing to put a plant in a room with no sunlight. It is not the plant's fault. It is not the room's fault. The room simply does not have what the plant needs. Move the plant. Find rooms that have light. People whose genuine happiness for you is the sunlight that your growth requires. You do not cut off the people who went quiet. You simply stop expecting from them what they cannot give. You appreciate what they can offer. The ordinary friendship, the company in the neutral seasons, the presence in the moments that do not require magnanimity. And you find other rooms for the things that need more light than they currently have to offer. Here is the final thing I want to leave you with. The people who celebrate you genuinely when you win are the rarest and most valuable people you will ever know. Not because celebration is difficult, but because genuine celebration of someone else's success requires a person who is secure enough in their own journey that your forward movement does not feel like a comment on theirs, who has done enough internal work that the gap between where you are and where they are produces curiosity rather than threat, who loves you specifically enough that the version of your success they are most interested in is whatever version makes you most fully yourself. Those people exist. Not many, but they exist. And they are identifiable, not by what they say about you in the ordinary moments, by how they respond in the moments of your success. Watch who lights up when something good happens to you. Watch whose energy rises rather than falls. Watch who asks questions rather than going quiet. Watch who celebrates you in the room you are in, the same way they celebrate you in the rooms you are not. Those people are your real ones, the ones worth protecting, the ones worth investing in, the ones whose presence in your life is actively contributing to who you are becoming. Keep them close. Build with them. Tell them what their celebration means to you. Because a person who can genuinely celebrate your success is not just a good friend. They are evidence that it is possible to be so secure in yourself, so genuinely committed to the flourishing of the people you love, so free from the comparison that diminishes most relationships, that someone else's win actually feels like yours. Become that person for the people around you, and watch what it does to the quality of every relationship you have. If this hits somewhere real, subscribe. We go deep here every single week. Drop a comment. Has someone ever gone quiet when something good happened for you? Drop yes, and tell me what it taught you about them. See you in the next one.